This is going to be the first set of videos for the Scout build. My first video I put on YouTube was actually just a picture progression of the build because I wasn't taking video at the time. And I started doing video when I did the motor swap. So that's going to be this video right here. This is just a little preemptive warning of how bad the video actually is because I shot it with one of those little flip out HD camcorders that I don't even think they even make anymore. And after I of course shot the video and then went back and watched it on my laptop, it almost looks like it's just hazy. It's just very low quality. So unfortunately that's all I had at the time. I didn't even think to use my phone at the time. And so the first progressive, probably 15 minutes or so of the video, once I edit everything down, is probably going to be that quality. And then I got smart and started using my phone. So from that point on, all the other videos, from doing all the wiring to doing all of the little upgrades and getting it all dialed in and getting it on the road are with a little bit better quality. So enjoy the bad quality. Drive shafts are out. We've got to disconnect the battery positive terminal to the starter. And I think I'll be all set to go inside the car. Or truck. Like I was saying earlier, what's really nice about Scouts is they run a removable trans tunnel cover. So obviously doing this kind of work is a lot easier. Yes, that's only part of the wire harness. There you have it. There's your transfer case, transmission, any other lines that are hooked up, you can get to them. You can get to the front of the bell housing, back of the bell housing. What I need to do now is I need to put some blue tape on here and get a reference mark to where the actual yoke is placed inside the trans tunnel. So then that way when I mock up my other drivetrain with the Dana 300, I'm going to try and replicate that if I can. If I can't, then I can't. I got these really cool little tool holder magnets from Harbor Freight, and I've got several of them because you can get them free if you buy some tools. So I don't use them for that. I use them for straight edges because I can do steering adjustments, stick them on your rotors. You can get pretty accurate measurements to adjust your rotors to being at least straight enough so you can get to the alignment shot. These would probably work really well for this. Sticking them onto the back of the yoke and then measuring from under the vehicle. I'll stick this one on the front of the fan blade clutch and measure it from there. That should give me a total length of the entire drivetrain from end to end. So the old drivetrain is 66.5. So now I'll pull my magnets and I'll go over here to the new drivetrain. The total measurements on the new drivetrain from end to end is 68 3/4. That's a difference of 2 1/4 from front to back. Now I did take a measurement of the front of the fan blade to the radiator, which is the pre-existing radiator, and I had 4 inches of clearance between the two. So realistically, I can put this in the exact same location as the old one and still have enough room to put my radiator in. But the old radiator is a traditional vertical 2-core maybe. The new one I'm putting in is a 4-core Griffin, so it's a much fatter radiator. So I believe I'm going to be losing another 2 inches there. So it is going to be pushing it really close. So I've got the motor mounts out, unbolted. Trans mounts unbolted, 2 bolts in the trans mount, 1 on each side of the motor mount. Unfortunately, the trans crossmember looks like I'm going to need to remove it. There's about that thick of grease and dirt where the 3 bolts on each side of the trans mount are at. So I got to dig those out so I can get a wrench on the top so then I can air hammer the bottoms out, because I'm going to have to remove that crossmember. The shifter is still on the transfer case. That needs to go down. So I'm going to get this set up and then I'm going to go ahead and see where I'm at. If I can remove the transmission, pull it forward a little bit so I can get in there from the inside of the vehicle, then we'll go from there. Easier to pull the transfer case shifter arm out. Now I can pull it straight out without having to screw with the. Every project I take on, all of these builds, 99.99% of it, I do by myself. I don't have a helper, I don't have buddies around, you know, and I'm the kind of mechanic where I like working on my own stuff. I don't really like asking anybody for help. So you get to see how this motor gets pulled out for the first time. I've never pulled this one out. One-man operation. Obviously anybody can do it. It's doable. Just trying to lift the motor and trans so the motor tilts up more straight so it'll pop that rear trans mount out. One these corkscrew, they're just, these levelers are worth every penny. Well, it looks like there's no getting past pulling the cross member out. I can't get it to clear the trans mount. It's a really tall trans mount that bolts to the cross member, and then there's the back of the transfer case is below the top of the trans mount. I'm hitting the trans tunnel trying to lift it over that. There's no way to get it over it, so I need to remove that trans mount, and then it'll come right out. So that means I gotta dig into 60 plus years of grime and dirt and grease to get to the top of the bolts.
Should be coming right out. Fucker.
Okay, it's out. There's no way to get past taking the cross member out. So it took me all this time just to dig the bolts out so I could get the heads off. I could get to the heads so I could take them out. So now I'm gonna take it outside, degrease the motor, power wash it, and roll the truck outside, degrease the engine bay and the inside of the frame rails that I wasn't able to get to. Power wash that, and I'm done for the day.